define strength by volume. More deals, more grind, more noise. But the kind that lasts is quieter. It is the pause before the reply, the breath before the counteroffer, the boundary that protects your values when the market tests them. Well, today on BizBlend listeners with your host Sana, we are looking beneath the highlight reels, where mindset becomes a system and coaching becomes behavior change. So, our guest, Chad Bishop, operates at the sharp end of South Florida luxury, celebrity estates, complex developments, and expectations that don't blink. Yet, he's tethered his success to service, pledging $2 million over a decade. So, if you are building a business and a life you actually want to live inside of, this one's for you. So, let's get honest about strength, clear about mindset, and practical about coaching. So, Chad, welcome to the show, and it is really an honor to have you here with us.
It's great to be here.
Super, super. Chad, to begin with, um, we often like whenever we talk about sales, real estate, and all this, it's kind of a very high pressure environment in there. So when a seven-figure deal wobbles, just one day from close, 24 hours away, what's your first mental move before any tactical fix?
That's a great question. When you've been doing this for a while and you're in a position where you're helping someone buy and someone sell, and you're kind of that glue that keeps it together, the first thing you have to do is realize take a deep breath and be a solution maker. How are you going to get this fixed? Don't take it personal. It's not your fault. You have to take a deep breath and communicate to everybody. All right, this just happened. How are we going to get that to the finish line? And this is a great topic for today because it actually just happened yesterday. We're supposed to have a closing on Thursday, and we found out that the seller had an open violation that he was hiding, and it didn't come up until literally 48 hours before closing. So instead of getting mad at the seller, getting mad at title, getting mad at everybody, it's to take a deep breath and you figure out, okay, how do we fix this rather than get everybody worried and upset?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think that really, really makes sense. I mean, and do you when your deals they're involving celebrity names and nine-figure stakes? I mean, how do you keep your decision making clean? Like, do you have any set practice or ritual for every day that you follow, like non-negotiables that help you maintain that clarity, that calmness, and less adrenaline?
If at the beginning it was always fun to have that celebrity client, that high net worth client, but at the end of the day, they're putting their trust in you to help them get through the process. And you have to make sure that you're not putting who the person is and what the transaction is. It doesn't matter if it's a $50,000 deal or a $50 million deal. That
Mm.
buyer or that seller put their trust in you to never get too excited, never get too mad, and make sure that you're a solution provider. And that's what we have to remember, that we're in the people meeting business and we're solution providers to help them get through the process. It is typically one of the most expensive things that they're going to sell or buy. So making sure level heads all stay there.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think for founders, if I can add on to here is that this is definitely not luxury or I think it's infrastructure, it's process. Like if your nervous system is kind of outsourced to just the notifications on your phone and the constant rush. I think your strategies also as well. So I think that is very important to address here. And now let's go to the luxury market myths, Chad, because this is a very interesting part here. Um, According to you, what's the most overrated skill in luxury real estate? And also, what's the underrated skill that actually moves the needle?
I
Needle.
think the most overrated part of luxury real estate is the word luxury. And I think and I know that sounds silly, but luxury real estate, what does it mean? Does it mean and it means something different to everybody. So I like to call it a home at a higher value that you're selling. So it very well. So we just listed a home for 23.5 million on the water. Beautiful home. It's 3 stories, grandfathered in. It is an epic home, and the way we're trying to sell this is epic, not a luxury real estate home. So really kind of positioning it in a different way because everybody today, every social media post, every influencer is using the word luxury, and it's been watered down, the word luxury. So we're coming up with new ways to be special in the market, whether it's epic, magnificent, special, just using words that define the property more so than the word luxury.
Hmm. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, I kind of laughed in there, but I think, yes, it is. It's kind of, just used in order to grab the attention in the luxury. Like it's, all like you see luxurious stuff out there. But yeah, I think you are right. And also the underrated one, Chad, if we can highlight.
I think the underrated one is with everybody moving so fast today, people have lost the ability to communicate. And I think the underrated one is picking up your phone and calling someone, not just texting, not just emailing, not just voice messaging, communicating with that person. With that said, there are a handful of people that would prefer only to be text or emailed, but I think communication and face to face has been lost.
Hmm. And I think that is specifically in high value deals and negotiations and conversations. We always I've always seen coaches and mentors saying that always go for a face to face meeting because that works in a very different way than just a call or an email or a text. And then on the other hand, when people once again quote unquote go for the luxury deals, especially with celebrities and HNIs or stuff like that, so they assume that this person might be busy, they won't might they won't be able to pick my call. What will they say if I keep on calling them? I think that kind of also creates hesitation in actively pursuing or connecting with them.
So, yes, but at the same time, if you're working with a celebrity or someone in higher power, CEO, COO, they have ways to get a hold of them, whether it's their assistant, whether it's a child that has their phone, a spouse. There's a way to get a hold of someone if you need to get a hold of them. Yes, because a lot of time they're on TV, they're in meetings, so getting a hold of them is difficult. But if it is necessary to get a hold of them, there are plenty of ways to do it, and you can't be scared or intimidated by the situation.
Definitely, definitely. No, I would like to bring in a bit of a nuance in here, especially because you have pledged $2 million over a decade. Um, and this is basically on the lines of whether it's a philanthropy or a PR. Like, why should skeptics believe this is impact, not optics? Shad.
So I read a book called Never Eat Alone. And one of the, I believe it was chapter 2 or 3, was
Mhm.
gratitude and be gracious. And after I read that, it made me take a step back and figure out what can I do to be gracious. And it started off when I wasn't making any money and it'd come to the end of the year and I was trying to donate money and I just didn't have money to donate. So I spoke to my coach and we found a way that should not hit the pocketbook a lot, but can be gratitude a lot. So we donate 10% of each of our commission check to the charity of the buyer or seller's choice. And if they would like us to, we'll donate it to our own charity of choice. And it made it feel like, okay, so you make 100,000, you're donating 10. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be donating it or you should be doing something different. So that was kind of the whole process. And then it came into something that we kept doing, and all the team members started doing it and doing it. And it became habit that we do it every time. So it's not a hoax. It's little by little, increment by increment is how we grew to give that much money over a decade.
Mm, mm. I really appreciate the receipt. Uh, uh, inputs and outputs, and then actual tangible outcomes in there, and of course step by step, and over the years, it's just not like in just one go. And I think in a world of virtue signaling, I think this really matters just more than the PR or a simple like a photo op. So I really appreciate that, Chad. And elite performance, um, it often stalls at the founder. Like, what did you stop doing so your team could start winning without you? Because sometimes it kind of becomes a crutch that without the founder's motivation or direction, the team is completely clueless what to do.
So with that,
Mm-hmm.
I sorry about that, guys. I had to shut a door. So that is a great point. And in order to really be a part of the Chad Bishop group, everybody had to go through a disc profile to make sure their personality was aligned with what we're looking to do here. Then after that, they had to go through I call it a test, but it's a 10 question reasons why you're doing real estate, reasons that you want to do this so that we can pair their disc, their quiz, and then they go through a mentor program on our team to make sure all three things align to be part of the team. And once you get through those three, you become a partner, not an associate. And the goal is if I'm not there, I know Josh is going to handle it the same way, or Lauren's going to handle it the same way. And Brian, Alan, they're all going to do things the same way, and we're not going to lose a beat because it's been engraved for over time. And because of our personalities, it all comes together to work. And not for nothing, we'll all go on meetings together. We try to do things as a group more so than Chad and the team. Everything is done together so that the sellers, buyers, the neighborhoods, the vendors, they all can intertwine and put five faces with the group.
Hmm. And also mentioned about the 10 like a questions set of questions in there. What's one system or script you wish you would have codified a year earlier? uh, and any particular KPI that kind of would have told you that yes, it was time.
I will tell you that the disc profile.
Mhm.
So let me answer that in two ways. One, after being in the business for over a decade, I wish someone would have put me in a direction where I didn't
Mhm.
test so many little marketing ideas and CRMs and everything. And I very well wish I got pointed in the right direction first. When building a team, I wish I would have understood how powerful the disc profile was
Okay.
to situations so that I knew who I could work well with. And I know it's not here, but it's the same thing with love languages. How do people learn? Because if I'm teaching one way and it's verbal or it's through video and all they learn by is by reading, then it's not going to be the right fit because I'm not going to teach to their habits. So I'm trying to put people around me so we're not repeating. So I wish I would have learned about the disc profile about a year or two earlier.
Hmm. I'll be very frank, Chad. I didn't know about this. So today I learned it from you. So thank you for
Oh,
that.
nice.
No, I think this is very, very interesting. Yes.
It's
Um, and yeah, I mean, thank you for being honest, because um, sometimes as a founder, we often, kind of hesitate to um, share our lows or something that we do not know. Like we assume that, as a founder, I should have answers to all the questions, solution to all the problems. But that kind of, becomes a trap.
ugh,
Uh,
the falling on the face a number of times, the not being able to afford the sticky envelopes and you had to lick every single one of them. People just assume you had someone do it for you.
yeah, yeah, right. And because on BizBlend we not only talk about business and profits and numbers, but we also try to blend in the health aspect here. Um, and when it comes to luxury markets, Chad, what I um, believe that it reward luxury markets reward 24/7 availability. So is the always on culture a competitive edge or a slow exit from your best work?
So, I am not an always on person. I believe that having 3 children, being married, that there have to be boundaries. And my clients up front get to know about that at dinner time and bedtime for the kids, I will return their call if they would like 10:30 at night that night, but I'm gonna be family first from 7 to 9 or whatever it is. And on weekends, my kids play soccer. I want to be there, which brings in the whole I have a team. So the days that I'm off, they will be on. And it really helps bring that 24/7 together. But for health and sanity, we need to make sure we incorporate working out, pickleball, pool time, boat time, kid time, and keeping ourselves together, or else we're going to burn out and we will be no good to our clients or our family or ourselves.
Exactly. Exactly. But is it possible for a founder who is just starting, uh, maybe, they're just entering the market and they're trying to build something. Is it possible?
I would I still think that if you're a founder, your greatest asset, if you can do it, is to bring on an assistant who can give you those extra hours. But I'm still gonna say, for mind and health, you need to at least give yourself some break time. 24/7 is great and it sounds fantastic to everybody, but you'll find that your clients respect you when
Hmm.
you say, listen, I'm going to be doing this with my family these hours. Build those boundaries up front. And the 24/7 is, again, it sounds great, but you're going to get burnt out unless you have an assistant that can give you those extra 20 to 30 extra hours a week. So if you have an assistant, you're now working 80 hours a week opposed to 50 or 60. So you're getting those extra hours, but you need the boundaries. I am a firm believer if you're not good for yourself, you're not going to be good for your clients.
Absolutely. I mean, this is I think this is universal truth, and um, uh, even the clients would also appreciate uh, your advocacy of having those boundaries, uh, those me times, time with your family and loved ones. They'll hugely appreciate that, and that is something that can also kind of uh, create that trust and relationship. So yeah.
It's really the first negotiation you have with a client because you're letting them know that up front that these are my times that are non-negotiable. And if I'm going to do this for myself, imagine how well I'm going to negotiate on your behalf as well.
Exactly. Brilliant. That's brilliant, Chad. Oh, and before we wrap up, if our listeners, especially all the founders and entrepreneurs who are listening to us, if they would like to connect with you, what would be the easiest way?
The easiest way is Chad underscore realtor on Instagram or my website, chadbishopgroup.com.
Super. So, listeners, what I'll do for all of you is I'll have all the details in the show notes. So, just refer to them along with this episode on your favorite podcast platform. And before we wrap up, I think what I take away from this conversation is that success isn't just what you close, it is what you choose. And Chad, thank you so much because you have really, really reminded us that elite performance it scales when your standards are teachable. Um, your calendar it tells the truth, and your impact it actually shows up in outcomes, not just flashy headlines. So thank you so much for this really, really grounded conversation.
I appreciate the platform. It was great speaking with you.
Totally, totally. And to all the listeners out there, if this conversation has landed with you, share it with the one person you know who is building big while trying to stay whole. I'm Sana. This is BizBlend, where we build careers worth having and lives worth living. Until next time, choose well and move with intention. Thank you.